Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you the core insights on fascinating subjects. Really quickly, today we're tackling the trefoil knot. It sounds simple, but it's actually, well, fundamental in knot theory, our goal. To unpack why this three-crossing knot is so important, what non-trivial really means in this context, and, where you might actually see this shape out in the world. But just before we dive in, a quick word. This deep dive is supported by embersilk.com. If you're looking into AI, maybe for education or getting it working in your business, Embersilk is your go-to. They cover all your AI education and integration needs. Check them out at embersilk.com. Okay, let's get started. The trefoil knot. You said it's the simplest knot that can't really be untied. So what's let's say, the official mathematical take on it, and why this term non-trivial? It clearly looks knotted.
Right, that's exactly the challenge here. So imagine you tie a basic overhand knot. The kind you start with when tying your shoes.
Okay, yeah, set it.
Now, join the two loose ends of that knot together.
So you make it into a closed loop.
Precisely. That resulting loop is the trefoil knot. And crucially, it's the only knot that has exactly 3 crossings. In the classification system mathematicians use, the Alexander-Briggs notation, it's labeled $301.
3 for the crossings, and 1 because it's the first one with 3.
Exactly. And we call it non-trivial because a trivial knot, or the unknot, is basically just a simple loop. You can jiggle it around and it becomes a flat circle.
But the trefoil?
The trefoil, you can't do that. Not without cutting the string, anyway. It's fundamentally tangled.
Okay, so seeing the tangles is one thing, but mathematically proving you can never untangle it, that sounds like the real trick. How is that done?
That's where we need something called a knot invariance.
An invariant, meaning something that stays the same.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a property of the knot that doesn't change no matter how much you bend or stretch or twist the knot, as long as you don't cut it.
And there's one that works for the trefoil.
There is. The simplest one that shows the trefoil is different from the unknot is something called tricolorability.
Tricolorability. Okay, how does that work? In simple terms.
Well, you try to color the different strands or arcs of the knot diagram using only 3 colors.
Okay.
And there's a rule. At each crossing, either all 3 colors must meet there, or only a single color must be present for all the strands at that crossing.
So 3 colors meeting, or just 1? Nothing in between, like 2 colors?
Right. No 2s allowed at a crossing. Now, the interesting part is the trefoil knot can be colored according to this rule. It is tricolorable.
But the unknot, the simple circle.
The unknot fails.
Yeah.
You just can't color a simple loop according to that rule. Since one has the property and the other doesn't, they mathematically cannot be the same object.
That's actually quite elegant. A simple coloring rule proves it's truly knotted.
It's a powerful concept.
So, moving past untying it, what about the knot itself, its shape? Does it have interesting physical properties like symmetry?
Oh, absolutely. The trefoil is what we call chiral.
Chiral, like handedness, like our left and right hands.
Exactly like that. It means the knot is different from its mirror image. There's a left-handed trefoil and a right-handed trefoil.
And you can't just morph one into the other.
You cannot continuously deform a left-handed trefoil into a right-handed one. They are distinct mathematical objects.
Wow. So if you look at one type in a mirror, you're literally seeing the other type.
That's right.
Okay, so even though it has this mirror image difference, where does this specific shape, the trefoil, actually show up? Outside of math diagrams, I mean.
Well, because it's the simplest non-trivial knot, it's a surprisingly common motif in art and symbolism. You know the Celtic triquetra symbol?
3-pointed interconnected loop thing.
Yeah, that's very often drawn as a trefoil knot. Also, some versions of old Germanic symbols, like the Valknut, resemble it.
Huh, interesting. Anywhere else?
M.C. Escher, the artist famous for his mathematical drawings, he used them. His woodcut from 1965 called Knots prominently features trefoils.
So it seems incredibly simple, just those 3 crossings. But its properties being non-trivial, being chiral, they really make it the starting point for understanding all knots.
It really is the foundation. It sets the stage for the whole field.
Which leads to a bigger thought, maybe for you listening.
If math can prove that even a simple knot like the trefoil definitely cannot be untied in our 3D space, what does that tell us about the incredibly complex knots we see in nature?
Like in biology.
Yes. Think about tangled DNA strands, or the way protein molecules fold up into specific knotted shapes. What kind of invariants, what mathematical properties might those knots have, and how might those properties dictate their biological function?
That's definitely something deep to think about. Thanks for joining us on this dive.